What a nightmare. For a second, I thought I was going out of my mind.
Hey everyone, Colton here, and welcome to ComicsAlliance. In this one, we're going to be talking about how Spider-Man will acquire the symbiote suit in Avengers Secret Wars, just like he did in the original 1984 Secret Wars comics. And we're going to talk about why Spider-Man's black suit may have the remains of Carnage within it.
Oh shit! That is a red one!
You need to come out right now.
Now, I think we can all agree that the Venom tie-in that was teased in the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene was very anticlimactic. They give us this big tease that Venom has entered the MCU and he's going to be going toe-to-toe with Spider-Man, and then nothing. He spends the whole time in a bar in Mexico and then just gets sent back to his universe at the end.
What is happening? No! No, we just got here! No, not again!
The whole thing was just pointless, except for the fact that a piece of the Venom symbiote was left behind, seemingly setting up an eventual bonding between it and Spider-Man.
This is something else.
Now, some fans have wondered, how did this piece of Venom get left behind in the first place? Doctor Strange's spell in Spider-Man No Way Home was meant to send back every being to the universe it was originally from, so any and all pieces of Venom should have been sent back to their respective universe. Unless this piece of symbiote isn't from the Sonyverse like Eddie Brock and Venom, but instead was conceived and born in the MCU. In Venom Let There Be Carnage, we learn that Carnage is the offspring of Venom.
Death to you, Father.
No!
Not you, Father. You, Father.
You see, symbiotes are able to asexually reproduce, so for the day or two that Eddie and Venom were in the MCU, it's possible that Venom had yet another offspring while in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And with this offspring having come into being in the MCU, that makes the MCU this new symbiote's home universe, not the Sonyverse that Venom and Eddie are from. Now, real quick, let's do a refresher on how Eddie and Venom even got brought into the MCU in the first place. In Spider-Man No Way Home, when Doctor Strange's spell goes awry, variants from throughout the multiverse who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man start coming into the MCU. But with this version of Eddie Brock and Venom not knowing Peter Parker or Spider-Man or that they are one another, some fans began to question why they fell victim to this spell. Well, in that post-credit scene, it is revealed how Eddie and Venom came to know of Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Venom has always possessed a knowledge of Peter Parker's Spider-Man because he is part of a multiversal symbiotic hive mind.
80 billion light years of hive knowledge across universes would explode your tiny little brain.
So, since there are Venoms out there in the multiverse who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man, that information is shared throughout the multiversal hive mind, making it to where this Venom knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man as well, even though there's not a Peter Parker or Spider-Man in the Sonyverse.
That guy.
And the way that Eddie Brock came to know about Peter Parker and him being Spider-Man is because we see Venom share all of his hive mind knowledge with Eddie.
Well, let me give you a taste then. Just the smallest fraction of the things we symbiotes have experienced.
Okay.
So why do I think we're going to see the symbiote pop up again in Avengers Secret Wars? In the comics, it was the 1984 Secret Wars that first introduced us to the black suit Spider-Man. When Spider-Man was on Battle World with a lot of other heroes and villains that were teleported there for a battle of good and evil, Spider-Man found himself in need of a new suit. And on Battle World, at the headquarters where the heroes were set up, Hulk discovered what was essentially a fabricator.
It's a fabricator. It can analyze, design, construct basically anything.
This device merely requires you to think, and it will create whatever you want or need. Thor uses it to fix his helmet and cape, and then we see Spider-Man use it to either repair or replace his suit. But when he goes in to get a new suit, it produces a black sphere that makes his spider sense begin to tingle.
Peter Tingle,
please do not start calling it my Peter tingle.
It then morphs into the signature black goo that we all know the symbiote to be, and it begins to coat Spider-Man's body. After the events of Secret Wars, Spider-Man does return to Earth in his new alien suit, and the symbiote saga begins. So, with Spider-Man No Way Home and Avengers Secret Wars both being part of the multiverse saga, I think that this was a hint that the MCU plans to take a similar approach to Spider-Man bonding with the black suit in Secret Wars. And it's fitting that the black suit of the MCU that bonds with Peter Parker will have a multiversal connection, a symbiote that will have a heritage from another universe entirely. And perhaps the fact that its heritage is from another universe, this will result in it being dragged into the multiversal events that we will see transpire in Secret Wars. I mean, with it being off in Mexico at the end of No Way Home, it does make it unlikely that it would just find its way to New York to bond with Spider-Man. But if it too gets summoned to a battle world type scenario for Secret Wars, that could be how Spider-Man and the symbiote meet. And let's keep in mind that this symbiote, as part of the hive mind, will also have knowledge of who Spider-Man is, so it's possible that it will be actively seeking out Spider-Man.
I want Spider-Man!
Now, Avengers Secret Wars is already going to be really crowded, so while I do believe that, like the Iron Spider suit was introduced in Infinity War and a big part of the marketing for that film, I do think that the black suit will be a big deal for the Secret Wars marketing as well. But I really think that the suit is just going to serve as more of a cool thing to look at, and it won't be until future Spider-Man films that Peter's moral struggle with the black suit comes into play. Now, real quick, let's talk about Carnage. We know that the Carnage symbiote is the Venom symbiote's offspring, and at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage, this happens.
He did not taste good.
So it's possible that this new symbiote may not only be a descendant of Venom, but of Carnage as well. And being a descendant of Carnage could play a major role into the evil nature of the black suit and how it will make Peter Parker behave differently. So let me know, do you think that the symbiote that we saw at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home will be a completely different symbiote from Venom, an offspring? And do you think the next time we see it will be in Avengers Secret Wars and then again in, say, a Spider-Man 4? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below, and you can also feel free to @ me on Twitter. If you're new here, please do feel free to subscribe, click the bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. Join the Alliance, we'd love to have you. My name's Colton, I'll see you next time.